Officially welcome back for 2026. This is our Divine Book Club session. And so what we do, just to remind you, is we read from one of our resources and then we'll have a conversation really pulling the thread of the insights and the pointings so that we can see that which is for ourselves. We're here to know tangibly, experientially, literally, beyond all doubt, what it is that I am, and what it is that I am is infinite, pristine, complete, whole spirit. And that's now something so very few actually come to realize. So we take that vital step of standing in the truth. We're not here to try and work it out. We're accepting what it is that I am. And it is only being truth that the truth can actually be known, and it can't under any other circumstances. We cannot know the truth from misidentification, which is the assumption of being something I'm not, a person, separate, part of a world of multiplicity or duality, as it's often referred to. It simply isn't the case. And there's no becoming spirit. There's no such thing as a spiritual awakening from the position of personhood. So let's be reminded that we recognize one is now as we dive into our vast library of resources, or we have these live conversations. Today, I'm going to read to you from the Living Oneness Principles, the pocketbook for divine embodiment. And this is the principles essentially that are the foundation of our hub consultancy. And we are going to explore the chapter Awareness Resolves Ignorance. So I invite you just to rest back. Have soft eyes and soft ears in hearing this, in being here now and joining together and recognizing the one voice and the one ear simultaneously speaking and listening, pointing to that which is right here where I am as I am. And it is only when we stand in that truth of being one that the seeming multiplicity and the matrix, the entanglement of personal perception can fall away, and it does completely and utterly, revealing the luminous, self-effulgent, infinite self. The only issue we merely seem to face is a lack of truth awareness. Ignorance is nothing. Is that really an issue, given that the answer is present? If our experience seems host to anything less than oneness, perfection in other words, and instead seems to suggest lack, limitation, inequity, suffering, sickness, wanting, disease and dis-ease of any kind or variety, death, a lack of truth awareness is at play, and that's all. The ignorance of false identification, a mere trick of believing I is separate from all, from God. Nothing more than a flimsy veil to be seen through with the piercing clarity of omnipresence recognition. Ignorance is nothing. Appearances never need attention, nor require action to be remedied. There is nothing going on in such a case apart from impaired vision, just a case of misidentified misperception, a make-believe filter of false identification as a separate, independently existing personal character, like wearing an invisible pair of darkened glasses, is simply correcting vision. All appearances, all assumed objective experience is false from the position of personhood, without exception. No person sees clearly because there is no person. There isn't a better way to see, no lower and higher. From the position of person, no view is possible. And nothing that seems to be seen from that erroneous position exists. That which is false doesn't exist. The end of every appearing worry is held in this fact. Take the mistake out of the equation, which is misidentification, and reality, one or oneness in God, is luminous, obvious fact, a fact that remains hidden for those under the spell of mis or false identification, where the assumption of misidentity as person makes worry and even death appear normal and real in a dreamscape of duality. There are no opposites in one. There are no beliefs, opinions and preferences, no right or wrong, no different values in truth. All value is in consciousness, of which I is aware awareness. Only awareness is aware, and no thing has borrowed awareness. Awareness isn't contained in personhood. It isn't contained in anything. All awareness is consciousness, life, often referred to as God, simply aware. The natural and normal vision of I, your I, is Christ, pristine and whole now. And that's Christ vision. The I you refer to, can only be referring to and have always referred to, is in fact the one self, divine. God, life, consciousness, aware of, as itself. There's never been another, just a benign game of pretending to be something you're not really, very much like assuming a character role as an actor. And there are no consequences to what I really is at all. We dream we suffer and seem to die. And just like a dream, it has no impact on the waking state. Misidentification, which is ignorance, a lack of truth awareness, is nothing more than a child's game of pretend, nothing more than a belief that I can choose what I am and the attempt to assume an identity that overlays what I really is. I is already fully established, given actually, and it can't be something else, can it? We can never be happy, satisfied, fulfilled in the way we really want to, hope or know we can be, nor abundant in the way we really want, or really are, in unopposed permanence until we know this, thy true self that is in complete, full, whole, and perfect condition or nature eternally, right now, seemingly hidden under the layers of misidentification and thus misperception and belief. Turn, come unto me, and I will give thee light. Your eye. You've always had the proverbial power, beloved. Awareness and experience are synonymous, despite how things appear. Awareness is ground zero, and it is here that attention needs to be focused, singly, commandment number 1, as we know, in true identification as awareness itself. Truth awareness is the simple, unopposed, and unopposable fact that I, right now, right here, is immaculate, infinite, eternal awareness itself. I do not have awareness as a personal faculty that comes with the body package that I assumed I arrived in. Awareness is what I is, what I am. It's not personal. It's impersonal. Ignorance, of course, is nothing of itself. It has no reality, no existence, none at all. None. No existence in the face of the answer, which is awareness, full, complete, absolute recognition of true identity. Truthful awareness, embodied true identification as awareness itself, replaces the error that is the ignorance of false identification. Just like darkness of itself is nothing, it's simply replaced by light. A mistake is simply replaced by the correction. Darkness doesn't have to be chased out of the room or attacked by light. It is nothing to light. It is a seeming lack of light. But light, consciousness, is all and thus never lacking. Ignorance is the unquestioned assumption that awareness is malfunctioning. It's a denial of what is, a denial of reality. That I has just popped out temporarily, leaving the unattended meat suit called my body, me, in a crumpled heap at the door awaiting its return. Awareness can never be divided from I because it is what I is. Ignorance is like assuming I have a clue, but it turns out I don't until I is recognized as all. That is, know thy true and real self. It is the truth that sets us free, not the misplaced common attempt to accept ignorance, which is everything of duality and personhood, as fact, an attempt to fix, cure, remedy, solve this nothingness. Just like an error in a math equation is solved by the correction, the error in experience is the belief that duality exists, which is the person I think I am needs fixing, and this is a mistake, corrected by the truth, which is I. Self with a capital S, one, exists as one, as all, now. Despite the appearance of otherness, what appears real and that which is true are not the same, and there aren't any grey areas or blurred lines. Only truth is true, absolute, cut and dry, and it is this clarity of and in absoluteness, or reality, that is the way of one. Look within and see. No longer relying on man whose breath is in his nostrils. No guru required, because no one has more nor less of God than all. This is existential principle of omnipresence. The ignorance we speak of here is the assumption of an identity called person, that is physical, human, and that is personal. Mired in separation and differences, a sense of me and others, inherent inequality and threats, an inside and outside, a location-based existence in time, with an accepted beginning and end, with countless stories and evidence that seem to corroborate this fable of endless lack and limitation, sickness and struggle, and ending in death of somebody, never quite getting there, forever wanting more. Ignorance is the entire spectrum of what we call belief and all that seems objective. Ignorance is nothing but a mistake to be corrected, which means that nothing about this fabled and fantastical personal reality requires addressing, nor even understanding. It is a lack of understanding or a lack of recognition about what I am is now, which makes lack seemingly appear in the first place. Just as if you'd forgotten you put on glasses with red lenses and forgot to take them off. The view is tinged with red everywhere you look, and you just got used to it and have lived the best way you know how with the sense you've tried to make of it all. It is in turning to truth alone in full recognition that all seeming problems, bar none, are simply and only a lack of truth awareness, of themselves nothing and have no consequences. Only consciousness, God, life, love, existence, good, is. And this is the only answer that solves the false appearance of all problems, not because they existed, but because they didn't. Truth, heaven, I, all is now. The kingdom of heaven, which I am, is finished to perfection, to be known, experienced tangibly and lived. Imagine you had a smudge on your glasses that corrupted everything you thought you were seeing. In fact, it might be so dirt-ridden, you may even think you see things that aren't actually there. Now take off those glasses and give them a good old-fashioned spit and polish. When you put them back on, it's like seeing through fresh eyes, isn't it? It is this understanding that ignorance is nothing. It's just the belief in I being something I isn't, as a person in the midst of a world of others and opposing forces, that is central to restoring true vision. In the recognition that only truth is, one is all right where I am, always and nowhere else, ignorance is corrected in and by awareness. I was blind, but now I see. Ignorance is resolved in one elegant step into oneness. Fact, God is as all. The fallacy of a journey in time of awakening is called out as simply another trick of misidentification, having no existence whatsoever. On this point, we must be certain, because few, tragically few, there be that make it home to heaven, one in God, bliss, consciousness eternally, instead preferring to live under the false assumption of prodigality, actually defending it. Ignorance doesn't become truth. Awakening isn't a journey in time. Truth has no opposition. That's a now fact. Ignorance is a false perspective hiding the glorious reality of perfection right where I is eternally. I've always been right where I am, and I is what I seek to know perfection and fulfillment, and there need be no delay. Do not handle any specific problem or lack. Never is the condition, appearance, circumstance one of lack or excess, one of evil, error, guilt, personal or impersonal thinking, conscious or subconscious cause or effect, human or inhuman conditioning. Whatever seems wrong is but an assumption that consciousness, spirit, call mind by the name God, love, life, or whatever term, means utter absoluteness, singleness, reality, infinity to you, is not entirely present, whole, pure, completely alive to individual awareness, simple entirety, dimensionless infinity. So let's just take a moment here. Relax. Be still. And if you notice lots of thinking firing, just go a little deeper into the vastness of being. Be rather than think. That's where infinity is already established. That is where I is. That's where reality is already full, whole, complete, and perfect to be known and experienced. And we'll come back with questions in just a little bit.